Hello, hello. We're back at it. Here we are. We are here in our casita. We are still waiting for baby. So you can't see but I'm pretty pregnant. I guess Anna reminded me yesterday that I'm already 9 months pregnant. I had been saying like eight-ish, but I'm like, wait, no, I am I'm 9 months pregnant. Um, what a gift! What a gift! But also, speaking as an entrepreneur, being pregnant, it's been it's been I think this pregnancy has really, since the beginning of it, has really forced me to slow down. And so I've been slowing down. Ironically enough, or I guess good thing was that um we were able to lock in some great clients, and so I didn't have to work as much on the business. I got to work in the business a little bit more this year. Um, so it's just sort of the ebbs and flows of everything, because that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur. The ebbs and flows. Um, Sorry, I'm just gonna adjust it here. Okay. Still getting used to how we want to do this, but um, yeah. So it's been slowing down, and now I'm going to really slow down. So I'm officially, this week is my maternity leave, but you're saying, well, how does that work, Jackie? Because you're doing this video. Um, I technically am still with baby, so I still can do some things, and I think it's just it's you're an entrepreneur. There's still things that you got to do and you got to show up for, and happy to do it. And that's actually what today is really about, is this idea that entrepreneurship is sort of a form of lifestyle in a way. It's something that, you know, I guess it might work for people whose wheels are always turning, because I think as an entrepreneur, you're always thinking about, well, what can be done with this? How can we move forward with that? And you're constantly, innovating and trying to figure things out, and make things better, and keep building, keep building, and that's what we've been doing. And now we're building, but now we're throwing in, a huge part of our personal life, um, or that's going to take some time of our personal life, which is like raising a child. So, never done this before, so it will be new for us all. And but also, I think how cool, to be inspired by our child and our family. So much of what we do is pouring into people, people's stories, community building, and so it's going to be a good thing. But I think I remember doing an interview for our blog, Donas and Tortas, and I it was an entrepreneur who told me, like, yeah, like entrepreneurship is a lifestyle, and when you have your kid, they're gonna see that that's part of mommy's work, is like she's gonna be doing this and that, um and it's true. It's true. I think there's a cool reality to that, and if you can't be okay with that reality, then maybe it's something to look back into. Um, but that's really what, entrepreneurship is, something that it's not black and white. There's this sort of gray area, and it's forced both of us to work on not only our relationship, but like, so our own self development, and how to have, you know be the ones to put boundaries and to kind of set tone for things, and ready to make certain leaps, maybe not ready to make other leaps in the business, and all that stuff. So I think, as we make this transition from being entrepreneurs to being entrepreneurs, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of that. And, I've seen different parents do different things. And I actually did a really cool post, which I'll put in the description, we asked a bunch of working moms, a lot of them who are entrepreneurs, like, how do you find your own balance? Like, how do you figure things out? And what I loved about it was that there was just a variety of ways of looking at it. And I'm excited to kind of discover what that means for Anna and I. What does that balance look like? What is it that we need that's going to give us peace? Because everyone's different. Everybody's has different ways of doing that. And I would say even for business, when you're building your business, like everybody has different ways of like building and putting that together. So, I would say um, I'm very curious about what that looks like. In terms of entrepreneurship itself, like I said, it's something that I think sometimes there's this resistance to like, especially coming from like a corporate world to having things so structured that it's been nice to kind of be more fluid at times when necessary and more structured at other times when necessary. Uh, and to let it flow. Sometimes you got to let things flow. And what I mean by that is also there's got to be faith, belief in yourself and your business. And that's something that like nobody could really teach you. It's sort of like you got to do that on your own kind of thing, you know? And I think always remembering your why, you know? And remembering your why is what's going to help you with your sales. It's going to help you with your marketing, right? It's going to help you tell the story of your business. And it's going to help you connect with people, right? Because you're going to feel connected to that work and people are going to see that. And they're going to be like, I want to be a part of that. Um, and so it all sort of, I don't know if you could tell that it all sort of molds together, right? Like accepting the reality of being an entrepreneur, being able to believe in yourself and being able to remember always so, you know, determinedly to be like, this is why we do what we do. And I always say this, and I think I said in another vlog, is like you have to kind of look at your business and be like, like this business has to exist, um, and it's I always think like the biggest ideas are the most honest ones. They're probably too big because they're scary, right? But they're probably really honest. Like there's something there, and I think that that's a beautiful thing. So um, I think right now as we make this transition in a few weeks potentially, my goodness, uh, there's just so much. There's a lot to be proud of though too, right? Like so much to be proud of. There's a lot of things that we are not going to know how to do. We're going to navigate together for the first time. But when you're building, it's like, somebody recently told me about a book that I need to read, but this idea that everything's always changing. And you can either take comfort in that or you can resist it and freak out a little bit. But I think the point is to take comfort in the fact that things are always changing. Um, and not to be afraid of how things are changing, whether it's the market, whether it's your clients, whether it's your business, like the things are evolving. And that's why, like, having brand values, like things that ground you, even you as a person, like things can always be changing, but if there's certain values that you possess in your business and yourself that ground you, like that's where that stuff comes in handy. I think for what grounds me, I think definitely is connection. That genuine connection of people understanding each other and kind of seeing the good in each other, and that I can't. That's so important to me as a person. It's become important to me as a business owner, and uh, you know that's something that I can't foresee it changing. It's just a part of who I am, and it's what I pour into the business too. Which is why I'm doing these videos. I think like being able to express who I am as a professional, but as a person, as an entrepreneur, is something that I feel connected to. And I want to connect with other people, and that's why I always say, especially any entrepreneurs who have any advice, like I just keep on putting it out there. Like, please come to us, share with us. We want to learn, we want to know. It's very important. But in the meantime, we're here. We get some hot flashes sometimes, so and we're gonna enjoy what we can of this maternity leave. and fit necessary work when possible. And if you see a break with these vlogs for a little bit, maybe something's happening. Maybe the baby's here. But in the meantime, I'll be back next week to check in, see how everybody's doing, and if there's any topics or things that you are curious about that you want us to talk about, please share leave comments in the comment area, and let us know. Okay. All right. Let's see you. Bye.